All right, guys, I'm gonna do a series of videos just to help you guys remember, like if you go home and you do homework and you need to remember how to do equations. I'm just gonna kind of like go through all the different things that you'll see. And if you, at the end, if you can follow these steps. Now, as a disclaimer, yes, there are multiple ways to do equations, but right now, these are the steps that I'd like you to follow, and this will help you with pretty much every type of equation that you're gonna see in Algebra 1. So, first thing I say is draw a vertical line. You guys should all understand vertical line right through the equal sign that splits it into two halves. All right? Now, you go through these, okay? If there is a step that doesn't apply, we know to skip it. So get rid of parentheses. There's no parentheses in these. There are no like terms. And then we get down to here. We have add or subtract. Get rid of add or subtract before we get rid of multiply and divide. So, right here, we're trying to isolate the x. We're trying to get x by itself. So all we're going to do is we need to get rid of the 2. We're going to do the inverse operation, which is the opposite. So the opposite of plus 2 is minus 2. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So we get x equals 5. As soon as the letter is isolated, stop. All right? Now, we get to here. We have the x. The thing that's on the same side of the x is minus 5. We do the inverse, which the inverse of minus is plus. And whatever you do to one side, we do to the other. The inverses, the opposites, they cancel, and we get x equals 8. All right, now, you do have to know that if there is nothing in between a letter and a number, it is an invisible multiplication. Multiplication is really the only one that can be invisible. So right here, we actually have 3 times x. So the inverse of that is divide. Write it like this, write it like that. What we're trying to get rid of is the 3. All right, we have multiply, we have divide. These cancel, and we get x equals 4. So, last one is this. This line means divide, all right? All fractions are just a divide. So, the opposite of divide is multiply. Write it like that, write it like this. So, the inverses, they cancel. We're left with x equals, and when you multiply this on the calculator, you get negative 10. So, those are very basics. These are called one-step equations. I just want to show you one extra thing here. Now, again, I draw my line, draw my line. The biggest mistake that I see here is kids do plus 4, all right? The minus is not in between the letter and the number. So I look in there, there's an invisible multiply. We do the opposite, the inverse, which is divide. Now, you have to keep the negative. You can only do the opposite of one thing at a time. So negative 4, and I get x equals negative 2. This is the other one that kids kind of get confused a little bit. The easiest way to make this look better is what invisible coefficient, what invisible number can I put in front, and we do this. We put a 1 there. Instantly, you should see that there's a space in between. That's multiply. I'm going to divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. We cancel the inverses, we get x equals negative 6. So these are one-step equations. Okay, so here we have a 2-step. Again, as always, I like to draw my line here, splitting the equation into the 2 sides. Now, to get the x isolated, to get it by itself, I need to get rid of the 2 and the -5. So I go through these. There's no parentheses, there's no real like terms in terms of with variables. So I get down here and get rid of add or subtract. Well, we know the 2 and the x are multiplying, so I need to get rid of the 5 first. The inverse, the opposite is plus 5. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So I get 2x equals 12. Then I am not done because the x, the variable, is not isolated. So I'm going to put this, and then the inverse is this, and I get 6. We stop here, the x is isolated, we're done. I go down here. I need to get rid of these two things. All right, I have plus 10, and I have times -3. As we go through these, we always get rid of add or subtract first. So I have -10, -10. Please do not do -13. That's a big mistake I see. That's moving it towards the letter. That is not isolating the letter. So like this, I get -3x equals 3. And then I'm hoping we remember this is multiply, so I divide by -3, and I get x equals -1. Now, just to make something, to make sure we understand, we're going to go through this again. We go here. Now, we have divide, and we have minus. So I look in here, we get rid of the add or subtract first, plus 6, plus 6. Cross out, I bring down all of this because we didn't do anything to this, so it just comes down, and then we get 13. So, we're not done, x is not isolated, this is divide, we are going to multiply. I get x equals 26. So, those are two-step equations. All right, so these are, we're getting just a little bit more difficult, not very. So, I have my line. Okay, now, I like to combine like terms on the same side first. Yes, you can do it differently, but this is the way I'd like it done. All right, like terms mean it has the same variable and has the same exponent. Both of these have the same letter, and there's an invisible one as an exponent. So I know that these two I'm going to put together. All right, now we do not do the inverse because we're just putting them together. We're not taking anything away, we're not changing it. We are just putting these two together. So 2x plus 3x is 5x equals 10. Now, we're not done. The variable's not isolated. I know I have times, so I divide, and I get x equals 2. So, let's go to the next one. Now, what I say about combining like terms on the same side? The same side of the line. Some of the kids are like, oh, but it's on opposite sides of the 7. That does not matter, it's on the same side of the line. So, I'm going to put this and this together. And to make it easier on myself, I'm going to put a 1 there. So, 1, you do not do the inverse, you don't do the opposite because they're on the same side. So I will get, when I put these two together, I will get negative 10x minus 7 equals 33. Now, we have to remember there's times there. If I go through my steps again, to get rid of add or subtract before multiply and divide. So, plus 7 plus 7. Cancel the inverse equals 40. Again, last step. This is the opposite of multiply. We're not doing the opposite of this negative. So, divide by negative 10, and I get x equals negative 4. All right, like terms on the same side. Right, so again, we're just adding stuff to what we already know. Good, we got our line, we have our line. Now, I go through there, we made the vertical line, there are no parentheses, but there are like terms on the same side of the line. So, we're going to go like this. Ooh, try again. So, go like that. We do not do the inverse, not the opposite, because they're on the same side of the line. I get 2x minus 6 equals 7x plus 8. Now, I come down here, combine my terms on opposite sides by doing the inverse. So, I can put together this and this, but they're on opposite sides, so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do negative 7x, negative 7x, cancel, I get negative 5x minus 6 equals 8. All right, plus 6 plus 6, we get negative 5x equals, what do we get? 14. Now, I'm going to divide by negative 5, divide by negative 5. And I'm going to get x equals, and I'm hoping, you guys know, I'm never looking for you to do anything without your calculator. Alright, so I'm going to do 14 divided by negative 5 and negative 2.8. Negative 2.8. All right, let's do one more. When I look through here, and I know that I'm going to add like terms first, I like to make sure it looks better than that. So I'm going to put the 1 there, all right, that invisible coefficient. I'm going to get 3x plus 9 equals 7x minus 3. All right, I go through here, like terms on opposite sides. This, I did not do the opposite because they're on the same side. These are on opposite sides. I'm going to do minus 7x minus 7x. I'm going to get negative 4x plus 9, cancel, negative 3. Minus 9 minus 9. Negative 4x equals negative 12. We are not finished. The x is not isolated. So, I'm going to come here. I have my times. Divide by negative 4. Divide by negative 4. I get x equals 3. Again, use your calculator. All right, let's put this all together. All right, all of these, well, pretty much all these steps. I do this. So again, at the vertical line, I'm going to get rid of parentheses by distribution. Please remember, distribution is always multiplied. So I have this and this. That is our first step. Everything else just comes down. All right, so we have that. Now, 2 times x is 2x. The number one mistake that I see is that kids write this, which means you did not distribute. All right, think of like a teacher distributing out the handout for the day. You only gave it to one term. You got to do it to both. So 2 times, it's not 5, it's negative 5, and I should have negative 10. So 2 times x is 2x, 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So I go back here. We're going to do like terms on the same side. So I have these two. We are not doing the opposite because they're on the same side. So I just put these two together, I get 8x minus 10 equals 3x plus 10. Now, like terms on the opposite by doing the inverse. Minus 3x minus 3x. Like this, 8, we get 5x minus 10 equals 10. Get rid of and subtract. Plus 10 plus 10. I get 5x equals 20. All right. So here I have multiply and divide. This is multiply. I divide by 5, divide by 5. And I get x equals 4. I stop. We have isolated the variable. Now I'm keeping this very, very simple. All right. I'm not getting into the positive and negative roots right now. Okay. So go like this, go like this, go like this. All right. In the vertical line, there's no parentheses, there's no like terms. So is there any add or subtract? No. Now, we're going to get rid of the square or square root. This is x squared. So the inverse, the opposite of a square is square root. All right? So I'm going to put it like this, and then the square and the square root will cancel out, and I get x equals 4. Again, please use your calculator. Yes, there are positive and negative roots. That's not what we're doing today. Okay? Now, again, this is square root. So the inverse, the opposite, is a square. So I'm going to do this and this. Again, the square and the square root cancel. I'm left with x equals 25. All right. So there's no parentheses, there's no like terms. All right, let's get rid of add or subtract. We have minus 3. I put plus 3 plus 3. So I get 4x squared equals 36. So we go to the next step. Is there multiply and divide? So right here, there's an invisible multiply. I divide by 4. And I divide by 4. I get rid of x squared equals 9. So we'll go to the next step. All right, get rid of square or square root. That's a square. We're going to do square root, and we get x equals 3. All right, so just a little introduction.